Hi everyone, it's Lou Collins. Today I'm going to show you how to stamp onto acetate. So this is something that a lot of people are a little bit nervous of, but it's made really easy with stamping platforms, and in particular today I'm going to be using the Sizzix Stamp and Spin tool. This is new to the market. I'm really excited to have my hands on one and to be able to show you a project with it. So we're creating these wonderful floating butterflies on acetate that can kind of go in a kaleidoscope up and above your card and back down again. Follow along, we've got lots of other products in there that you'll be able to see the links for down in the description. So let's jump straight into the tutorial. Just make sure you give us a thumbs up and share with your friends as well. To create this card, I have really utilised the new Sizzix Stamp and Spin tool. I really love this. It is an adapter for their stamping platform, and the lid lifts off so you can put the spinning element on. I'm still using my sticky sheet that's on there from the stamping anyway. I just think this is great and it's absolutely perfect for what I wanted to create for this card. So first of all, I started with a piece of acetate, and it's around about the width of the card that I wanted to make. So it's going to fit nicely on the edge of a DL card. So I'm going to pop this into my stamp platform, and I'm going to make sure that the top of the circle here, which is where I'm going to be focusing on, is underneath acetate. So it's hard to see the acetate once it's down on here, so you can see it's just shiny on there. It's a little bit harder for you to see, but as long as I know that my circle here, the top half of it as it's facing away from me, has got acetate underneath it, I'm not going to be stamping anywhere else. So what I'm going to do is stamp some butterflies in a nice sort of wreath shape. I'm only going to do half a wreath. I don't need to do more of it, but this is perfect for getting the spacing absolutely ideal. And then of course I can pick out one of those butterflies with my colours and such, as you saw on the card just a moment ago, and really make one of them stand out. So I'm going to be stamping onto the acetate using Stays On ink, and I'm going to use this stamp set. This is designed by Lisa Jones. It's got beautiful butterflies in them, but these are made to be created or to be used with this tool, so I know they're going to fit beautifully. I want to put the large butterflies ideally, so let's put this under here. I think what I might do is stamp one like that, and then skip 2 segments and stamp it again, and back 2 segments, stamp it again, and then repeat with a smaller one in the spaces. I think that works. So let's test this out. So I can lift off my hinged lid and I can apply my Stays On. I always forget that there's a plastic cover with Stays On. So there we go, pop that in and down and onto the Stays On. Now with this platform I have got the sticky mat underneath, which is holding my acetate still. I'm still going to be really careful when I lift this up off the acetate, because I don't want it to pull too much. There's sort of a suction. There we go. So let's just press down in the middle a bit more with this and try again. There we go. So beautiful. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, rather than just turning it the once, as you can see that would then overlap, I'm actually going to turn it twice. Now this is going to take it down to the bottom of our, I suppose, rainbow of butterflies as such. So let's just ink. I'm going to ink the entire stamp because I can't fathom which part of the stamp in this direction I need to actually ink. So there we go, and stamp that. So I will be cutting off some of that butterfly. Okay, perfect. And then I'm going to come back, so back to where I was, which is there, and then back again. And I just need to do this top section of the butterflies there. So I've positioned 3 of the butterfly stamps just around the edge there, and they will fit nicely in that space. So in theory, once I've stamped these and I twist my stamp and spin tool, they should also fit nicely in this gap. Fingers crossed. Let's see if my theory is correct. Okay, so now I'm going to twist this to here, and yeah, they fit just perfectly in that space. Brilliant. So I'm actually doing lots of stamping all at once. So just removing my acetate and we've got this beautiful wreath of butterflies. I'm going to be cutting that off across the bottom here anyway, and just having that as the background to my card. I'm going to allow this to dry, and then I'm going to cut it out into that circle shape. So I've cut out my acetate, and what I've done is I've put a metal shim, a metal cutting shim, into my die cutting machine and cut against that with a Creative Craft Products nesting die. So this is the largest circle in the super sized ones. They're usually around about 8 inches, and that's cut through my acetate perfectly. So that's going to sit on my card. I've got a bit of static on my acetate, so I've got some little bits on there. This is a DL shaped card, and I was going to have this so that the butterflies just peeked out over the top, which is lovely, but I think actually they look quite nice a little bit lower down. Also gives the acetate a bit more stability too. So I'm going to keep this lower down. I am going to trim off the bottom, and in this section here I'm actually going to use some colour, a bright pop of colour here, then restamp a butterfly and colour that in really bright to match. Now I found these really lovely bright patterns just here with the Frida Kahlo papers, so I think I might actually cut maybe 2 of those and have them across the bottom, and then I'll use these colours in the butterfly that I'm actually going to colour in. So now I just need to decide which strips of these I'm going to use. So now I've got my butterflies floating above the card. I need to create one stamped butterfly to go up here that's the bright colours brought in from the ribbon strips below. So to do this, I'm going to switch up the Stamp and Spin platform there, and I'm going to put in the standard stamping platform instead. And I'm going to use my Creative Craft Products alcohol markers. These are going to be lovely bright vivid colours, so I'm going to colour in this that's going to hopefully then match really nicely with the colours that we've got at the bottom here. So there's my butterfly. The colours match the ribbon strips as best I could with those alcohol pens, and this butterfly is just going to sit within this kaleidoscope, this wreath of butterflies here, kind of overlapping the white and the acetate, and just being a really nice sort of, I suppose, an echo of the colours that are down here to make sure everything ties in nicely. Now I'm going to use a big bold sentiment in the middle, and that's going to come from the recent Textures launch. So from blue and yellow cardstock that match these ribbon strips as well, I've cut the word birthday. Like I say, this is from a recent Textures launch. That's for the Opulence collection. You get this and the word love in there, both big bold words. So I thought this would fit really nicely in the centre of that circle. And the reason I've cut both blue and yellow is because I want to offset it, do a really nice shadow just like so. And that brings in both of the colours that are there within the ribbon strips there quite nicely. So I'm going to stick this down. The glue I'm using is the Creative Craft Products bookbinding glue. I love this for sticking paper to paper, but it also works really well with acetate too. Now I'm going over the top of the card onto the acetate there as well, just to make it help look that those butterflies are kind of floating around there. And then I've got my accent butterfly that's been coloured in, and I think this is going to fit really nicely kind of around here somewhere. I don't want it in the same direction as any of the other butterflies, but just a little hint that it's up there floating with them, bringing that colour up to the top as well. So there's something a little bit different for a card. If you're looking for new ideas, I hope you've enjoyed watching me create this card utilising the Sizzix Stamp and Spin tool, and of course the stamp platform as it is as well, and that technique of stamping onto acetate. If you like videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to the CraftStash YouTube channel, and we think you're also going to like this video just here too. Everything I've used you'll be able to find through this link just here. Take care everybody, I'll see you again very soon.